What an occasion. Tottenham versus Chelsea is a very big deal whenever and wherever it's played. It doesn't need hype or subplots, but it's got both today on top of everything else that usually comes with this tie. It also has the best part of 90,000 partisan folk to watch it here at Wembley. Half will be delirious in a couple of hours' time and returning 20 days from now to play Liverpool in the FA Cup final. We might need penalties here tonight, but we might not with Mr. Drogba, who loves this big stage. Part of the Chelsea side, you wouldn't back against him getting a goal today.
Well, that's the one name on the team sheet I'm sure all Chelsea fans were looking to see appear. Didier Drogba, tremendous record here at Wembley Stadium. So hopefully you can continue that, Didier.
Goals in all 6 of the semi-finals and finals he has played here. Every single one of them he scored in. Here is Modric, who could well have been playing in blue today, of course, if things panned out differently. First touch for Ledley King. Interesting to see how his fitness is, because he could not deal at all with Grant Holt and co on Monday for Norwich. But as Graham mentioned, Chelsea struggled to cause Tottenham too many problems in the league meeting. It was only 3 weeks ago at Stamford Bridge, and almost all the personnel are the same. Different day though, different occasion. And a different goalkeeper, Carlo Cudicini, Chelsea legend.
Nice to see Harry Redknapp keeping faith with Carlo Cudicini. As you said to me earlier, Ben, he's played in every round so far, and most managers, when they get to quarter-finals, semi-finals, finals, etc., they put their big man in, don't they? But let's have Harry Redknapp to keep faith with Carlo Cudicini, and that man, Brad Friedel, I'm sure has wished him all the best.
Ashley Cole's header there, returning to the side today. Flag up. Troubling times in the league for Harry Redknapp. Just clinging on by goal difference to that top 4 spot. I don't know whether or not this has any bearing on that, Graham, in terms of a bit of momentum or a psychological edge if one overcomes the other here today.
Well, do you know what? I was just thinking that as you said it, Ben. You know, if whoever comes out on top, will it have a psychological effect for that 4th spot? Tottenham's form in recent weeks hasn't been what it was at the start of the season, when they were exceptional, playing some terrific football. They seem to have stuttered, and Chelsea will look to take advantage of that this afternoon.
Mikel's taken advantage of an overhit pass by Scott Parker, and it's back with Asu Okoto, who's letting the hair all out nowadays. It's quite impressive. It makes David Luiz look neat. John Terry playing through the pain barrier again. He came back in the Fulham game, and he has Ashley Cole outside him today after a couple of games without. Given away again is Van der Vaart, who really, if anyone should have scored in that league meeting, he should have twice over denied on the line by Cech and then Cole. 0-0 that one stayed. We have to have a winner today. Mata, who is usually key to whatever Chelsea do, and you'd expect him to be the same again today. Ramirez, nowhere near Drogba, but it should have been Cudicini's, and in the end is.
A little bit of uncertainty between Kyle Walker and Carlo Cudicini there. Didier Drogba decided not to go for the cross. It wasn't the greatest ball in from Ramirez, but I think if Didier Drogba had carried on his run, there could have been a few problems there.
3 times an FA Cup winner, Didier Drogba, much like a lot of this Chelsea side and squad. Both clubs have had 6 days between their last match and this, and that is as long a break as Chelsea will have in what remains of this campaign. They've got midweekers all the way now. Rearranged games required against Newcastle and Liverpool in the league. They'll be midweekers, and obviously the 2 Barcelona legs. Normally, of course, that Barcelona game coming up would be almost the only topic of conversation, but such is this season been for Chelsea that there's just an enormous match every 3 days, and you can only really think about that one. And Robbie Di Matteo, it seems, Graham, hasn't borne Barcelona in mind at all with his team selection. It's not like he's rested a load today.
No, absolutely not. I think it's a strong side that he's put out, as you would expect for a semi-final.
Modric on the break. He's only got Adebayor in front of him, and the pass is far too heavy for him.
I think they'll be disappointed, Luka Modric, there, because it was a good run from Adebayor, a good opportunity, and the weight of the pass was too much. But just going back to your point, Ben, about Chelsea and the intensity of the games coming forward, and question marks about who do you play, do you rotate, do you play your strongest side? I mean, it's so difficult for Robbie Di Matteo to decide what he has to do with the amount of games that are coming up thick and fast, and the importance of each of them. But you know, it's the oldest cliche in the book, you take one game at a time, don't you?
It's a 19th semi-final for Tottenham. That is staggering record. Been in 9 finals and only lost one. Pretty famous one. Keith Houchin and all that. Dave Bennett. Coventry 87.
Diving header, remember it. And both of these sides got terrific cup pedigree, there's no doubt about that. And big name players, used to playing at this stadium, used to playing in big games, so it's got all the makings of an exceptional evening.
No foul by Drogba on Asuikoto. Has the cross, it's good. Lampard's header. He was never going to be able to steer that beyond Cudicini. It was behind him and a long way out. Yeah,
Didier Drogba whipped it in, but it was always going away from Frank Lampard. Questionable whether there was a free kick in the build-up to that, but Didier whips it in. Is always moving away from Frank there, and it was always going to be difficult for him to hit the target and also beat Carlo Cudicini from that kind of distance.
"21 years though since Tottenham last won it in '91. In that time, Chelsea have been incredibly to 7 finals. It's an amazing recent record, especially for a club that used to very frequently get giant killed in the early rounds. Not anymore.
Well, it's got to have some say for me. You don't play in 7 finals. You don't grace this arena with the regularity that Chelsea do, without it meaning something and without you feeling comfortable in the place. And hopefully Chelsea will transmit that onto the pitch this evening.
Here's John Terry with the ball in, and it's a dummy from Kalou. Drogba knew what he was trying, but it was behind him. Terry, of course, who played that ball in, lifted the first in this new stadium. 2007, when Didier Drogba scored the winner at the very end of extra time, and not that we really remember it now, but it was at the very end of a pretty awful cup final, actually. It was a couple of pretty turgid hours with a very happy ending.
You don't normally get good FA Cup finals anymore, do you? The one you mentioned there, Ben, the Coventry one, that was a good one, but they're few and far between, I'm afraid. Such is the importance of winning that trophy.
I reckon we had 15 years without a good one, actually. Tottenham Forest in '91 was a good one, and then there wasn't another until Liverpool West Ham. Had 6 goals and penalties, so at least that was vaguely entertaining. In between, there weren't any cracking games. There was, of course, delirium for Di Matteo, Newton and Chelsea in '97. And they're on the bench today. Ramirez wants the free kick and gets it from Martin Atkinson. Scott Parker, one of 3 former Chelsea players in Tottenham's starting lineup today, with the foul.
Scotty Parker looked surprised that the referee gave it, but I think it was the right decision. He didn't take any of the ball, Scott. So Didier Drogba standing over the ball. Is he going to take a shot, line it up, greasy surface, test the goalkeeper? Why not?
Carlo Cudicini organising his wall. 3 men, please, he says. Drogba will have a pop from any kind of distance. We haven't really had a save yet. 9 minutes gone, maybe a first chance here. Drogba does shoot.
Well, he'd have liked to have hit the target, I know that, but it's a decent strike, plenty of power in it. I'm not going to knock him for trying to score from there. We've seen him do it before.
Certainly have, and this is his stage. He does like a big occasion in particular. was a substitute on at Fulham on Monday night. Barely had a touch actually. Him and Mata came on to try and sort out turning a draw into a victory, which couldn't do. Bradley King under pressure from Drogba there. Haven't really seen Bale with the ball at his feet yet, and you suspect that'll be a hugely important thing. Basingwa and Ramirez over there on that flank with Bale.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Ramirez play on the right-hand side a few times over the course of the season, and it'll be important for him to double up with Basingwa this afternoon, because he's a threat, Bale, once he gets going.
Lovely use of his body from Rafael van der Vaart just then. Such a clever player. We've got a couple in there, Spurs, with real footballing brains in him and Modric. And then they've got the raw bursting ability of Lennon on one side and Bale on the other.
Neither wide man's featured though so far in this game, this opening 10 minutes. Chelsea will be happy with the start they've made, I think. Lennon not involved in the game, Bale not involved in the game. That's exactly how they'll want it, because if they don't get those two in the game, they tend to struggle, Spurs.
Not actually sure that Aaron Lennon's even touched the ball yet at all. Bale's got it now. And he's taking on Basingwa at the earliest opportunity. It's not the worst ball you've ever seen in. Picking it up is Lennon. Had a touch now, all right, that should be checks.
It's always the way, isn't it? Commentators curse talking about Lennon and Bale not touching the ball, a pair of them straight involved. But doesn't come to anything for Chelsea, fortunately.
Chelsea have won 5 out of the 6 major semis and finals here at the new Wembley. That Carling Cup 2008 final defeat to Tottenham is the only downside in that record. Drogba even scored in that one. There's no Jonathan Woodgate today, and there's a foul from Ramirez there. Can he be got at, Asuakoto?
Well, I was thinking he could, but I'll tell you what, it was a good race that, because Ramirez is certainly no slouch. And Asuakoto showed a good turn of pace there. I think he can be got at on a one-on-one situation. You know, he's probably better going forward rather than defending. But you know, the teams are so evenly matched out there. It's, you know, very difficult to find space, very difficult to see, you know, who can unlock the defence, you see. It's tough going.
Luiz thumps it forward. That's worth the chase. And Drogba's on the chase. There's no foul. There's no finish either. First real chance of the game, and Didier Drogba's rather fluffed that one on his wrong foot.
Well, he has. He'll be disappointed with his finish. But I have to say, I think the referee missed a free kick there. I think he just runs across him, steps on the back of William Gallas's foot. But he'll be disappointed once he's clean through Didier Drogba that he hasn't tested Carlo Cudicini. Good opportunity.
I was expecting laces and 1-0 then.
I think if it had been on the other foot, it may well have been. The old swinger came into play, didn't it? Here we see it. Totally mistimes it, doesn't he? He'll be disappointed.
He's got 9 goals in an in-and-out kind of season. In and out in terms of fitness and form and selection. Of course, he's had periods of the campaign where he's been clearly the first choice, and periods where he's also been clearly not the first choice. I'm not sure where we are at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, that's pretty much what both strikers have struggled with. You know, regularity of games, goals. You know, it pretty much sums up where Chelsea have been so far this season. But you know, Fernando Torres looks to be the man in occupying the #1 spot for me at this moment in time. But Didier's got an opportunity to put it right today.
And he's going to try and get on this Ashley Cole cross, and Cole has it back. Doesn't have an option at the back of the box. Thankfully, that Tottenham break that could have looked dangerous is broken up by an important challenge from Salomon Kalou. And here comes Basingwa, 2 in the middle. Can he pick either of them out? It's towards Drogba. There's Gallas. It's just starting to liven up a bit now. It's been pretty cagey so far. Not entirely surprised by that, but with players like Aaron Lennon on the ball, there's always a chance for a burst. This is Van der Vaart, and that's way wide.
Again, Tottenham end this time, he'll be disappointed. Rafael van der Vaart, he's a far better player than that. There was a little bit of fear, Aaron Lennon breaking through. Rafael van der Vaart picks it up in a decent area, and you expect better quality from him.
He scored the only goal in a tie earlier in Tottenham's run. They were very, very lucky. I saw that game that night at Watford. Completely outplayed and just nicked it 1-0. On paper, they've had a pretty easy run. They beat Cheltenham, Watford, Stevenage, who they took 2 goes at, and then a quarter-final against Bolton. Of course, we'll know about that game that had to be replayed, of course. But Bolton, the highest-placed team they've had to face. Chelsea's run included plenty of lower league opposition again, though.
Both clubs have had a nice passage to Wembley, and they take advantage of it here this evening. But it's been a decent start to the game. I think the pitch has helped as well. It looks like a nice, slick, greasy surface.
That certainly hasn't always been said about Wembley. Here's Drogba. Snuffed out by Luka Modric. Had a stunning season, Modric. And Lennon's caught there by Drogba. Now we are going to see the first card of this final. And it's going to go to Chelsea's front man.
Well, Martin Atkinson, he's never a referee who's afraid to show cards. Didier Drogba gets one there. I mean, it is a blatant trip. In the modern day game, I suppose you have to say that's a yellow card for Didier Drogba. He has to be careful.
You've got to expect the caution if there's someone gone past you at speed. And the leg goes out, it tends to be one. No real saves for Petr Cech yet. Really for Cudicini at the other end. The only really half-decent opening, that Drogba half volley. Flying in at Adebayor. Pinged off him. Here's Kalou, did well. Now Ramirez and Asuikoto can have another little sprint. But, Cameroon beats Brazil there and wins the throw.
That's going to be a good battle all evening, that. 2 very athletic young men. Pacey, good players.
8 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat. It's a pretty fantastic record, really. Unfortunately, one of those 2 draws was to Tottenham, which in Premier League terms was potentially significant, but maybe not. We won't know that for a few weeks yet.
I think Robbie Di Matteo will be happy with the way his side have started. Certainly they look the more comfortable side from where I'm sat.
There is always Bale, unfortunately. Didier Drogba did well to pull his foot out the way. And Bale gave Basinger a head start, but he's beaten him. Across comes Luiz. Well played, David Luiz.
Well, I tell you what, he is one quick boy, Gareth Bale, because he gave Basinger at least 3 yards there. And then he was going to go by Luiz. It was only the fact that he showed his experience and good defending and got his body in there, David Luiz, and covered Basinger very, very well. But that's what they're going to have to do. You don't want to be in a situation with Gareth Bale steaming at you and one-on-one with Basinger, because there's only one winner for me.
That was ridiculous. I mean, Basinger was quick.
Not quick enough.
Cudicini's out of his box here. Scott Parker to Kyle Walker, the young England man. Very much first choice right back nowadays. He's got a bit of a gallop on him as well. There is plenty of pace in this Tottenham side. Ramirez can certainly provide it from a Chelsea point of view. Kalou's no slouch. Here's Parker. Adebayor inside him. Lampard cut off that pass and gets in the way for Parker's challenge there, and taking no chances, Ashley Cole just smashes it behind.
Well, for me, Scott Parker, he's burst through, he's fully committed, great tackle for Frank Lampard, good covering from here from Ashley Cole, takes it off the toes of Adebayor. But for me, if Scott Parker had got his head up earlier on there, I think it was Van der Vaart who pulled out into a good position on the right-hand side.
First corner of the game, I think, and Rafa van der Vaart is over it. A few Too many of these have resulted in goals of late. Corner in is over Bale, who always seems to make that near post run. Now, can Ramirez get going? To just check, unfortunately, Modric has stopped that particular route of progress. Good awareness from Lampard. Here comes Chelsea's third highest ever FA Cup appearance maker today. It's a different milestone every week for Super Frank. Here comes Ashley Cole. No one has won it more than him, ever. That includes all those journeymen pros of the late 1800s who used to play for millions of different clubs. Ashley Cole, more FA Cup winners' medals than anybody in the history of the game. Even Ryan Giggs, who's been playing for 55 years. Couldn't control that one though.
He's a top player, Ashley Cole. Top players normally come away with plenty of medals. I'm sure he'll be hoping for another one this year. Good opportunity for it.
You wonder if they get blasé in any way, because, you know, everyone dreams of winning an FA Cup medal. Some of us have been more fortunate than others in that regard, but Ashley Cole's done it 6 times.
It's quite an incredible record. I mean, I was fortunate enough to win it in '95 when I was at Everton, and you know, I treasure my medal. Just the one opportunity I had to get one. For him to do it 6 times is phenomenal. It really is. But top players remain hungry.
Here's Adebayor, who thankfully couldn't pick out a better pass. If he had, that could have been major trouble. But Luiz, well positioned again. You didn't score the winner in that final, did you? Even if you should have done.
It was the old Wembley, the bobbly pitch, you know, little bobble from 6 yards out, Ben.
Ride out.
plus I had a couple of quid on ride out first goal. But like I say, top players like Ashley Cole, they retain their hunger. 1's not enough, 2's not enough. They want to keep going. You only get 1 chance at this career, and I'm sure he'll want as many medals as he possibly can.
Gallas beats Drogba to the header. Former teammates and mates, of course, in general. Here's Luiz coming forward, saw a gap, went for it. Mata, who has really been able to get too involved so far, nor have many of the creative players on show, to be fair. Luiz still going and causing problems, but there is Parker shielding in that role that he does rather well for Garban country. Back comes Adebayor now. Martin Atkinson was going to give the advantage and really might as well have done, but didn't. He was just giving Spurs the free kick.
Yeah, I don't quite understand what he was thinking there. I mean, he gave him the opportunity to play on. When Tottenham had possession, he blew the whistle. I don't quite understand what he was thinking there, but hey-ho, there we go.
Half of the first half has gone. No goals at Wembley. 40-odd thousand of each set of supporters. Occasions like this are rare and special. Here is Kalou, nicely done. Mata made the run. First time cross. There was Gallas. And then Kyle Walker. Lampard's brilliantly won it back, but is suddenly crowded out by 4 white shirts.
That was a good break from Juan Mata. Burst down the left-hand side. Couldn't quite pick out the pass for Didier Drogba though. And then Frank Lampard, surrounded by about 4 Tottenham players on the edge of the box. Fair play to Tottenham. Good defending from them.
Here's Kalou. He's asking a bit much of Drogba, but he'll chase Gallas back anyway. Salomon Kalou enjoying a fair old run in the side actually at the moment. Daniel Sturridge, generally speaking, is the player who is missing out as a result of that.
See, again there, the referee. The ball drops to Modric. It's a free kick to Tottenham, of course it is, but the ball's at Modric's feet. Why blow up? Just play on.
Yeah, that's a high foot. Quite impressive hamstrings to be able to get them that high, but it's certainly a foul. In front of the dugout, Sasuikoto. Forward for Adebayor. Just hugged the line. Bale takes over. And the switch towards Walker is on. Walker pulls it back here for Van der Vaart, who needs to be closed down in that sort of opportunity on his left peg in particular, and was closed down well by Lampard, and I think it was Kalou as well, but Van der Vaart's won it back, then lost it again. Parker and Lampard going at it. Nothing doing there. Lennon on the run. It's definitely livening up this game now. Lennon shoots. That doesn't usually mean goals. He's only got 4 this season, or that one, though, was deflected. It would be a corner.
And he bursts forward, finds the gap, cuts himself inside Aaron Lennon, and the ball takes a deflection. It's going to go out for a Tottenham corner. But I tell you what, there's some battles flying around in the middle of the park. That man's never going to flinch a challenge, nor's Frank. Both going in there wholeheartedly.
Wallop.
Take that.
2 number 8s. Van der Vaart's corner. Oh, he's heading goalwards for a minute, but it's cleared by Ashley Cole.
Well, for me, I thought Ledley King was just going to head that in. It was a terrific ball in, whipped in with pace. And Ledley King seemed to have got a run. I was half expecting the ball to hit the back of the net, I've got to be honest.
Adebayo into Parker, who's caught. Bosingwa. Oh, Bale rather, not Parker.
As you would expect in a semi-final. Challenges left, right and centre. No quarter given in these games.
Van der Vaart takes. King was the target again. Break on. Here's Kalou. Needs some help. Mata's there if he can find him. Kalou, great ball to Mata! Oh. And for once, his first touch has let him down, and Carlo Cudicini was well positioned to pounce.
Well, every credit in the world to Salomon Kalou there, because that was a magnificent break for him. He cut inside from the right-hand side, and he saw one Mata bursting into the box and put out the perfect pass to him. And if there's a man you want in front of goal, it's Juan Mata. And unfortunately on this occasion, his touch let him down.
Van der Vaart with a big crossfield ball. What an opening that was. The best 2 chances of the game now have fallen Chelsea's way. In a game of few chances, he threaded that through beautifully. Did Mata, I know it's easy to say afterwards, did Mata have to take it first time?
No, I don't think he did. No,
just if he got the touch right,
I think he genuinely went to control it and just produced a poor touch. But you know, Salomon Kalou, I mean, he's not known for his through balls and stuff like that, is he? His guile, but that was terrific pass.
Like one of Mata's, but it didn't come to anything, and now Tottenham have another corner. Van der Vaart pinged the last one in from the opposite corner very tightly indeed. He has fought away Matt here. Lennon hanging around on the back of the box, finds his shot charged down by Kalou. One of the reasons Salomon Kalou is in the side is he has a lot of working back. And here goes Ramirez. That looked like a foul on Walker.
Carl Walker's a quick young man. Ramirez fouls. Didn't win that race, got a little bit frustrated by the fact that Carl Walker had got back so quick. It's a definite free kick to Tottenham.
Pretty even so far. Adebayo hanging out on the left wing. That's just fine. I don't want him through the middle. He's coming that way now, past Mikel. Lennon has swapped with Bale, as they often do, these two. A little spell on the opposite flanks. Parker. Lampard should clear. And, it's lively. It's lively enough that we haven't had a replay yet, which I'm sure we'll get soon of the Mata opportunity. Meanwhile, Van der Vaart taking over. Well played, Juan Mata. Important little toe in there. Cole, keep going. Keep going. Clever square ball as well. This is Lampard. Little deflection on that, trying to get it back into the path of Drogba and Mata. Kalou now. Lampard again. Almost a third of the game gone. Here's Bosingwa. Great cross into Drogba. Flags up.
Just drifted into an offside position there. Didier Drogba, he's probably only a yard off, but it's enough. But Chelsea, for me, just look a little bit more dangerous than Tottenham in the final third. It's a good open game, plenty of opportunities for fullbacks to bomb forward. This is the chance, this is the Juan Mata chance. This is Salomon Kalou bursting through, cuts inside Kyle Walker, cuts across him and produces a perfect pass. Oh, it's just that on his left foot as well. He's stretching a tiny little bit, Juan Mata. That would be the only thing going in his favour as to why he failed to control that. A terrific play from Salomon Kalou.
Bale into the middle. Terry had to improvise. He has done enough for now, but Lennon's picked up the bits. No, Kalou, there he is, tracking back again. He does do that job pretty well, and I don't think he gets a great deal of credit for it. Juan Mata has been loving his first crack at the FA Cup. He scored in every round until the quarter-final. He managed to not get any of the 5 against Leicester, despite having plenty of opportunities, but scored in all the other rounds and missed penalties home and away against Birmingham. Lampard out to Kalou, becoming more involved in the game. Kalou, and that was a decent ball in as well. Drogba wants the corner and gets it.
Yeah, good crossing again from Salomon Kalou. Frank Lampard found him out wide, cuts in, whips it in with his right foot. He just can't get it on target, Didier Drogba, but that was probably mainly because it was blocked.
Definitely appear to be more gaps at the back for Tottenham than there are for Chelsea, even though Tottenham have been sniffing around too, but it seems more compact up at that end when Tottenham have the ball and more open at this end when Chelsea have it. Absolutely. Which is good news. Lampard's corner. Adebayor's header clear. Good header too.
That's the danger for me, for Chelsea. So far, I think they've dominated possession in the main. They've looked better in their final third, as I mentioned a little while ago. But it's that breakaway with the pace of Lennon and Bale. That's where Tottenham are going to be at their best, I think.
Ashley Cole. Not too much space in there now. Tottenham back in numbers. Drogba pulled wide. It's a good ball. Kalou got a head on it. Asuikoto stopped it going behind for a corner. It'll be a throw instead.
They're certainly getting the ball in the box at every opportunity, Chelsea. Getting the ball out wide, whipping crosses in. They obviously feel there may be a weakness in Tottenham's defence.
Harry Redknapp, winner as a manager with Portsmouth 4 years ago. Robbie Di Matteo, a winner as a player with Chelsea twice. And a scorer twice, of course, in Wembley finals.
Well, I tell you what, I think that's a terrific ball in the box, and I think that man in the picture there, Didier Drogba, should, as a centre forward, should be throwing himself at that ball, not stood on the 18-yard box when the ball's getting whipped across. Chelsea fans in good voice though, enjoying their evening.
Don't get a lot of Sunday night footy, do you?
What have we had? We've had a little bit of afternoon, a little bit of evening, possibly go into the night.
It could be 9 o'clock before we're done here. Penalties aren't a problem anymore for Chelsea, so we won't worry about that. Although Cudicini, who's clearing there, is pretty good at saving them, as all Chelsea fans will know. Very good at saving them. So if it doesn't go that far. Parker. Di Matteo had his arms out there, now they're folded, saying, what's the problem? That's a Tottenham free kick. I have to say I didn't see what for.
Yeah, no, I think the linesman's flagged for an earlier offside, way back. That was where it was taken from anyway, so that's what it must have been. That's why Robbie Di Matteo had his arms up, couldn't understand the decision.
Good first touch from Adebayor. Oh my goodness, that was close. The defending from Terry was immaculate, and it absolutely had to be.
Absolutely, Ben, because he was clean through there. Van der Vaart, if John Terry doesn't intercept it.
Mata has already been fairly clean through once. Pinged one in there that didn't quite stick for Drogba. Good header from Luiz. Mata couldn't make that one stick. Well, we had 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. This doesn't feel like a game that's going to finish 0-0 so far. You can never really say that with any conviction, but you know what I mean. There's Asuikoto.
Well, you just can't believe that the quality on both sides can end in a goalless draw, can you?
Oh, it's a great dummy from Lennon. Thank goodness his pullback was absolutely awful, otherwise that could have been 1-0.
That's always the criticism of Aaron Lennon. His build-up play's fantastic. His final ball was really, really poor.
Look at Ashley Cole going on the outside. Kalou uses him by not using him, and then, unfortunately, slices a horrible one.
I think he should have used him after seeing that shot. That was high and wide from Salomon Kalou, who's had a decent game so far. David Luiz very, very close to giving penalty away. Aaron Lennon, great opportunity. Messed up with the final ball, thankfully for Chelsea.
If Aaron Lennon had a touch of the Ashley Youngs about him, he'd have left a leg in there and probably would have got a penalty, actually, because Luiz just momentarily hung it out there. Adebayor then, he's going to keep this one in. Can he pull it back? He's looking for options in the middle. Van der Vaart on the head. Chance here for Lennon again! Oh, what a save, Petr Cech! I'm presuming it was Cech. It could even have been the man on the line, but Tottenham kept out at bay for now. Parker with the cross this time. That was brilliant work from Adebayor. An unselfish play by Lennon.
No, it was terrific football. Adebayor broke on the left-hand side, picked out the cross. Van der Vaart, you know, misguides his header really, but it's a terrific ball in, and it's actually off the line from John Terry, the captain. Fantastic work from John Terry. Saved his side.
Not for the first time, nor the last, one suspects. Here's Mata. Van der Vaart, of course, it was twice denied on the line, wasn't he? In the 0-0 at the Bridge. Ashley Cole blocked one, Petr Cech saved one. Couldn't believe he didn't score either of them, and likewise here. Cech beaten this time, but not Chelsea's captain. That's why you have a man on the line.
Well, that's why you've got somebody who's your captain in John Terry, who's got instinct. Knew what was happening, recognised the situation, got himself back on the line, and thankfully cleared it for Chelsea. But in fairness to Tottenham, it was good play.
Chance here, not taken. And as Walker dives in, did he get the final touch?
I think he's just about done enough, hasn't he? Salomon Kalou was coming in on the far post there, and he's probably just a bit offside. I think the linesman's missed that one. Good covering defending from Carl Walker though, because it looked for all the world like Salomon Kalou was going to get a shot on target there.
That is a brilliant challenge from Walker. He had to get it right, to stick everything out to get there. Lampard's corner really opened up this game now. Bale heads it away. But his was not the final touch. Let's have another look at this then.
Well, it's a terrific pick out from, criticised him earlier, Aaron Lennon, for not picking out the right pass, but he certainly did there. Van der Vaart's header cleared off the line from John Terry. Brilliant defending from the Chelsea skipper.
Well, he often makes a habit of actually scoring goals rather than preventing them when it comes to the FA Cup, John Terry. Scores loads. Scored a semi-final winner once as well against Fulham. Way back in 2002. Chelsea, of course, lost that final at Cardiff with Carlo Cudicini in goal, and Lampard, who played the ball there, and Terry as the only Chelsea survivors. Gallus played in that one as well. Here is Terry. Mikel. Never.
That's not the ball to be playing, I'm afraid. Not on a slick surface like that. It has to be perfect, otherwise that's just going to run on. But it's an even game. We knew it would be. It was always going to be a tough game to call. Both sets of players, top-class international players.
Luka Modric with 5.5 left of the first 45 at Wembley. Two good sides just about cancelling one another out at the moment. Adebayor, oh, it's off the post, and he wasn't offside either. I don't even think he got a touch on it. It was one of those, like those free kicks that swing in that a goalkeeper can't really afford to commit on. Goodness me. And still we haven't had a goal, and still we don't really know how.
Well, it's quite an incredible situation that was. I agree with you, Ben. I'm not so sure if Adebayor got any touch on it whatsoever, and as you quite rightly say, Petr can't come out and gather it because he thinks any touch is going to go past him, and it ends up fortunately coming back off the far post.
There was no flag. Luka Modric. Well, both sides could claim that they could quite easily be in front in this game. It's getting rather lively now. Van der Vaart's pinged one into Adebayor. Modric has wriggled free and made some space, and John Terry's there again to make the block. Lennon, Terry again. He has been immense this season, and for 40 minutes here as well. Chelsea's player of the year for me. Here comes Drogba. That's a foul, surely. Yep.
Scott Parker, a little tap on the back, save himself from a yellow card, but Van der Vaart, it's a fantastic whipped-in cross, and there you go, he hasn't touched it. Adebayor, Petr can't afford to commit himself and go for it.
He has to make the presumption that Adebayor gets something on it, doesn't he?
100% he does, yeah.
What does Rafael Van der Vaart have to do to score against Chelsea? Hopefully the jinx will continue. He must be wondering, though. Louise, Lampard trying to get on the end of that, and does eventually via Ledley King.
I think Frank felt that was a corner, and I have to say I thought it was too. I think Frank headed it onto the defender there. Perhaps we'll have another look at that. It's a good 0-0, Ben.
It is a good 0-0. The 0-0 at the Bridge the other day was actually a bit of a flat one. It was a sort of cancel-out kind of game. 1 or 2, a little bit similar to this. We had a bit of woodwork and we had a couple of clearances off the line, but this has been a far better spectacle, which is excellent in front of so many at Wembley and the watching world. It is good that so many fans can see it, whatever people do think about this Wembley semi-final policy. Someone's coming back here in 3 weeks, still don't know who. Nice spin from Drogba. Oh, yes!
Goal!
Mr. Wembley does it again. He sliced one off that left boot from there earlier. He has roofed that one. He loves it here, and he has done it again. And Chelsea lead Tottenham right on half-time as well.
Well, that is where Didier Drogba is at his best. Frank Lampard plumps a 50-yard ball up to him. He's one-on-one against the defender, controls it, rolls the defender and smashes an unstoppable shot into the roof of Carlo Cudicini's net. Here we see it again. Frank Lampard is just a lumped ball forward to him, and he feels William Gallas, turns him, and that's an unstoppable finish. It really is. That's where he's at his best, Didier Drogba. Terrific strike.
Magnificent. His 7th semi-final or final played here at Wembley, and he maintains the record of scoring in every single one of them, and that almost as spectacular as the one Robbie Di Matteo smashed in at the old place in '97, and potentially just as valuable. Well,
I was just laughing there at the picture of Robbie Di Matteo. He looked as if he was uncertain if it had gone in. But what a way to open the scoring. Terrific strike from Didier Drogba.
Well, you felt that it couldn't possibly end 0-0, and it's not going to now. And so soon after Tottenham have a couple of close shaves, Van der Vaart's going to be feeling really sick now. Here's Cole to Kalou. It's another nice ball for Mata. Teaser. Cole's there, and still Mata. The second now will be magnificent, and it might happen. Cudicini can't pick it up, and actually that's a bit of fancy footwork, to be fair.
Very good. Very cool under pressure there, Carlo Cudicini. The Chelsea are turning the screw.
Ramirez. Still going, Ramirez. It's going to be a corner. It might have been more. Wow, what a push right at the end of the first half.
Well, this game, we said it was livening up. We said it was a decent game, nice and open. Chelsea have got that terrific goal from Didier Drogba. They're pushing forward again. The second half can only get better for me, because Tottenham are going to have to come out and they're going to have to push to try and get an equaliser. That's going to leave gaps for Chelsea to exploit. I think we're in for a treat.
Into added time. Lampard's hand signals mean something. Oh, decent one for Drogba there. I thought he looked favourite to get his head on that.
Yeah, somehow we missed that. It looked like he had the leap.
Maybe he had a little clever nudge in the back as well.
And I have to say, I've enjoyed this first half, Ben. I think it's been excellent. It's far better than the semi-final we saw yesterday.
Just a fair bit more quality on show. Not really a weak link on this field, and they've produced a highly entertaining 45 minutes with a happy ending as far as Chelsea are concerned. Didier Drogba continues his love affair with this stadium. He started the ball rolling back in 07 in the first final here, and he's still going now, 7 games on. He has roofed that one. Rafa van der Vaart could easily have scored for Tottenham before it, but he didn't. Good half, great scoreline. 45 to come at Wembley, at least. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. It wasn't on Monday, and that was in fact, incredibly, the 11th time this season at Fulham that Chelsea have scored first in a game but not gone on to win it. We'll expect Graham Stewart, Tottenham to come out firing. They don't really know any other way anyway.
Absolutely, I mean, they're an attacking side as it is. But certainly with that goal down and only 45 minutes left of this semi-final, they're going to have to come out and ask Chelsea some questions.
Hopefully only 45 minutes left and no more goals, that'll do. But from the evidence of the first half, there will be chances at either end. This has already had a lot more attacking intent than the Stamford Bridge meeting had 3 weekends ago. Ramirez is in here, and there's no flag. He's got Drogba in the middle and more arriving. How's the cross? Cudicini calls and catches.
Well, for me, that's a decent cross from Ramirez. Terrific break again, showing his pace and strength down that right-hand side. Gets the better of Ledley King, drives to the byline, and for me, he dinks out a decent ball. I think somebody should be attacking that out of the two of them, Salomon Kalou and Didier Drogba.
They're both a bit static, weren't they?
They were. One goes to the middle of the goal, one goes to the far post. You do it every day in training.
Both hung back at the same time, unfortunately. There's Gallus. Rolled by Drogba. For the game's only goal so far. Classic Drogba, really. Back in, out muscle and wallop.
He's a funny player for me, Didier Drogba. He has quiet periods during games, frustrates you at times, but then all of a sudden he bursts into life. And that's what I was talking about in that first half. He gets himself in those areas. That's when he's at his best, when he feels the defender and he's tight against them and he rolls them and uses his strength and his power. And his finish was magnificent.
Lampard intercepts the Parker pass. David Luiz, John Terry, who had an immense 45 minutes.
Just hope Chelsea don't just sit back and let Tottenham build up a head of steam. I'd like to see Chelsea just go out and try and get that second. Don't sit on what you've got. A few empty seats still above the dugout there.
Long queues at Wembley perhaps for the half-time refreshments. This is Drogba and Mata, and that's a brilliant save from Cagey. He's knocking on 40, but that was a lightning bit of reflex goalkeeping.
Didier Drogba causing problems, and it fell to one. Mata, who swung that left foot. It was going in that bottom corner, but Carlo Cudicini sticks out his left hand, turns it round the post. Great save.
It really was. Early Chelsea corner in this second half, which Frank Lampard takes in towards the near post, and Louise denied, and a big bundle on the line. That must have gone in.
Yes,
it did. It's two. It's two. Cudicini's furious. I think we might have a bit of an inquest here, but Howard Webb has pointed to the centre spot.
Well, this is incredible, this, Ben, because the referee's given the goal.
Martin Atkinson, sorry, not Howard Webb.
Even Martin Atkinson, but I think this could be hugely controversial, because how that linesman can give it, being on that side of the pitch, I'll never know. The referee was on the... He must have given it himself. He can't have... The linesman can't have given that. I mean, it's a terrific save from Cudicini. You tell me how the linesman could possibly have given that. It has to be the referee. And to be honest with you, it's not even nowhere near over the line. Chelsea have got away with one. It's a great time to get a goal given to you like that and go 2-0 up in the semi-final. But that is going to cause absolute mayhem, because that's a terrible, terrible decision.
You never want these games to be decided by officials. Chelsea have rather outrageously been on the right end of a wrong un there, but all help will be gratefully received, and Tottenham, fueled by a sense of real injustice, are going to have to really pull up their socks now. That didn't look anywhere near. Martin Atkinson actually had the best view of it. As you said, the assistant couldn't possibly have any view of it at all, so that has to be the referee that has made that decision. Yeah,
it's terrible. It's a really... I mean, it's great news for Chelsea, and they'll be absolutely ecstatic. 2-0 up in the semi-final of the Cup, and still piling forward Chelsea as well. But that is an awful, awful decision from Martin Atkinson. I suppose it's got to be Juan Mata who's going to get credited with the goal. The goal that never was.
Well, normally you see things that do cross the line that don't get given. It's very rare that it's the other way around, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, as we say, the assistant can't possibly have given the decision. It must have been Martin Atkinson who's made that decision on his own. He was the one who had the better view, but obviously the view he had wasn't good enough, because it's a poor, poor decision.
Bale's cross is a good one, but there was John Terry, who had a part to play in that goal. He came bundling in, didn't he, to try and get something on it. Mata, a Wembley goal scorer of sorts. Ramirez on the run, and Mata spotted it. And the third Chelsea goal will end this contest. Ramirez, and out by Gallas for another Chelsea corner.
And he's having a field day. First 5 or 6 minutes of this second half. Ramirez on the right hand side, he's bursting forward. The energy levels, here we go, we're getting an opportunity to see this Juan Mata goal. I just don't see that being a goal.
Well, it's
really
never, there's no way. I mean, we're not bang on the line with that view of it, but there's no way the whole of that ball is over the whole of the line. Not even close, maybe not even half the ball. No. Barely any of it, probably.
Ben, you've got to be certain to give a goal, and there's no way that Martin Atkinson could have been certain.
Lampard's corner. Officials have been so in the spotlight in recent weeks as well at Premier League level. That's just going to cause even more. Don't want any game really decided on a howler like that. But it's all for the good from Chelsea's point of view, and Tottenham really have to come at it now, and surely that's going to mean gaps, and Chelsea are so in the box seat now. A 1-0 lead is one thing, a 2-0 lead quite another. It's Kalou.
Well, as ever at 2-0, it's the next goal that's important. Tottenham get it, game on. Chelsea get it, game over.
Cudicini will feel as wronged as anyone, because he made such a brilliant save from David Luiz's initial header, didn't he? It counts for nothing now. Here's Bale. Pass Basingwa, twice over, and well positioned David Luiz, but Adebayor's won it back off him. The only thing you wonder now is if somehow word can get back to Martin Atkinson that he has gaffed big time, and then you're thinking, if it does, which it probably will, if there's a hint of a Tottenham penalty, he's going to be giving it.
Absolutely, he took the words right out of my mouth, Ben. I was thinking exactly the same thing. How can he possibly even it up some way? He shouldn't do. You give every decision on its merits, but you know, we've seen it before with referees.
Kalou, oh dear. Drogba had no chance of getting that. Kalou seemed caught in two minds. Kyle Walker coming forward. Tottenham are livid. Will it spur them on, or will it leave gaps? Here's Bale. To Asuakoto. Leaves it. It's a corner.
It's so open, this game now. It's stretched, it's end-to-end stuff, it's exciting. That man there, Harry Redknapp, is going to be absolutely livid about the decision that Martin Atkinson has made. But there's nothing he can do about it now.
Van der Vaart's corner, that ball wasn't over the line either. Luiz heads it clear, back in by Asuakoto, off Mata. It could go anywhere. Gallas tries to get spun. Aaron Lennon with the final touch. That'll do. Chelsea goal kick. Best part of 40 minutes to play, and that's going to be the main focus of the cameras, I'm afraid. Let's have a look at his position again here.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the position that he adopts. I mean, it's a great position for him to be in, but how he can see and say that that ball has 100% crossed the line is beyond me. I can't believe it. You normally look at the reaction of players, and it normally tells a story. And Tottenham have been hard done to, it has to be said.
Juan Mata gets it. Meanwhile, Modric coming flying through. They're going to be looking at that referee with every 50-50 call now. Here is Mata again.
This is when Chelsea have got to hurt Spurs. This is the ideal scenario, hitting them on the counter-attack, plenty of open spaces. It's going to be a terrific second half, it really is.
Drogba is past Walker. Drogba flicks it in towards Kalou. Asuakoto with the first attempted clearance. Then Gallas does a rather better job second time around. Modric's pass was a beauty for Parker. And he's released Adebayor here. Adebayor, his round check, it's going to be 2-1. Yeah. Game on again. Gareth Bale's got it with a tap-in.
What do you do now, though, if you're Martin Atkinson and your goalkeeper's tripped Adebayor one-on-one clean through? Does he send the goalkeeper off?
Well, the fact they've scored won't matter, will it? But we've also got an injury situation here. Is that Luiz down?
Yeah, I think it's David Luiz. It was a terrific ball, it has to be said, from Scotty Parker that found Adebayor. Adebayor showed good pace and strength to see off David Luiz, went round Petr Cech, who brought him down. You see it here, Scotty Parker picking up the ball in the middle of midfield, slide rule pass, good strength and pace from Adebayor. The ball falls to Gareth Bale and Tottenham are back in the game.
Well, no question, if Bale doesn't put that in, Cech is off. As regards your point there, no question it would be a red card. He doesn't need to give it now. That's going to be a directive in for next season, just as a minor academic point, that the red card won't happen if it's a penalty at the same time. But anyway, Bale has scored. Luiz, you could see in that replay, pulled a hamstring in his failed chase on Adebayor, and immediately the substitution call was made. Tottenham have, I guess importantly from their point of view, Grant, they've got one back very quickly. I mean, it won't make them feel that much better about it, but it'll make them feel a bit better about it, and the fact that it hasn't taken them long to do it there.
Absolutely. I mean, they needed to get back in the game as quickly as they possibly could. They've done that, over half an hour left to play in this second half, and this really is game on. Here we see it again. It's a terrific pass from Scott Parker. And Gareth Bale, he's done the right thing. He's carried on running. He hasn't left it to Adebayor to finish off. He's carried on running, and he gets himself a nice little tap in. They're the ones you want. But goodness me, we're in for a terrific half hour or so now.
Come on, you Spurs, is the cry you can hear at Wembley. We have at least half an hour more. And, well, if ever it's possible for a referee to be pleased that a side have scored, he might be feeling a little bit pleased in a funny sort of way, Martin Atkinson. If he's had word from the touchline that he has had the howler to end all howlers. So Gary Cahill is the like-for-like replacement for Luiz, and not that we're really thinking about it, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Just going forward, that's a done hamstring for Luiz. That's at least a couple of games out, if not more, isn't it? So Cahill and Terry it will be for a little while, because remember, domestically at least, Ivanovic is on a 3-game ban. So Gary Cahill coming in, and he'll be staying in if he can stay fit, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't want to see your players going off, and as you quite rightly say, Ben, if it's a hamstring, dependent on the size of the tear or the grade of it, which is the expression they use these days, dependent on how long he's going to be out. But this man, Gary Cahill, is a top player. I've been impressed with him over recent weeks. I think he'll do a decent job. He can get his head round this game, and he probably knows he's going to be lining up against Barcelona in the week as well.
He gets a touch instantly. Back to Petr Cech, who in a funny sort of way might also have been relieved to see Gareth Bale put the ball in the net. Otherwise Chelsea would have been down to 10 men and a penalty against for Ross Turnbull to come on and try and save, perhaps. Well, it's all happening here.
Very much so.
No, none of the quiet 0-0 we had a couple of weeks ago.
Well, the game's so open, and you just look back and you think to yourself, Chelsea 2-0 up. You know, does Robbie Di Matteo get a word onto the pitch somehow and say, listen, don't keep it so open, dig yourself in, you know, keep yourself compact in the middle of the park and don't let Tottenham have anything easy. All of a sudden, Scott Parker bursts through, plays a terrific pass.
There's Drogba from distance, movement on it, and a deflection on it as well. It'll be a corner on the hour mark.
Again, gets himself turned nicely. Didier Drogba uses his strength. Decent strike as well, out for the corner. Interesting to see how Chelsea react to this now. It's the first setback they've had of the afternoon. Even.
Lampard corner. Well, the whistle had gone anyway for a shove. That one must have been going close to the line.
John Terry just taking the ride on one of the Tottenham lads' backs there. Was it Ledley King? Two captains battling it out. Easy decision for Martin Atkinson.
Asuakoto with the clearance anyway. It was him on his back on the goal line who was involved in that Mata inverted commas goal. Comes Parker again. Scott Parker still hasn't scored a Tottenham goal and won't with finishing like that.
No, he did all the hard work. He looked nice and sharp and direct. But the bad thing about it was the poor finish from Scott Parker. It's important now, Chelsea, just settle it down. 10 minutes, just sit yourselves in there, keep your shape, keep it nice and tight. Just get back into the game, don't give Tottenham any more chances.
They'll have the wind in their sails to some degree as well with that goal and the fury of the way they conceded the second. Adebayor couldn't keep that one under control. It was Gary Cahill on him there. Cahill who denied Adebayor, having made a mistake actually in the build-up with that running back and on the line clearance at the shed end. One of the better chances in the league meeting at the end of March. The Singler's throw. Ramirez to Drogba. Singer under pressure from Bale. Does enough.
Seen the referee blowing his whistle there. Wonder if it's been an infringement or something. No. Carries on. This is where Chelsea's experienced players, the Lampards, the Terrys, the Drogbas, you look to them now to just calm it all down. take the sting out of the game for 5 or 10 minutes and just settle into it again.
Unable to do that in the short time during which it was 2-0 the scoreline. It wasn't 2-0 for very long. But you can kill off a game from that position, but not so far. There's Basingwa with the ball in. Cagey trying to release Lennon quickly, but there are blue kits back in numbers, but Lennon's found a bit of space to run into here. Into Adebayor, give and go, that was nicely done. He's got Bale left, and thank goodness he didn't spot him. The danger's not over. Adebayor again. Past Lampard. The shot is off Terry. It's extraordinary how often he is in that position. It can't be luck, it isn't luck, it's nous, defensive nous.
Absolutely top-class defending from John Terry again. But earlier on, Bale, I was thinking to myself, oh no, Bale's building up a head of steam, and if Lennon picks out the pass, Chelsea are in trouble. But somehow, some way, Aaron Lennon didn't see him. Cut back on himself and went right when he should have been playing Gareth Bale in.
Thank goodness for Aaron Lennon's lack of awareness. The view is better from here, of course. Mikel. Drogba tries to turn it round the corner for Ramirez to chase. Asuikoto had to be alert, and Gallas's clearance wasn't very good.
Disappointing touch from Basingwa as well. But you just get the feeling the longer this game goes on, it's a big occasion. Wembley's always been a pitch that saps your strength, and you just wonder as the game goes on and the more spaces appear, are the likes of Lennon and Bale going to come into it a bit more. Equally, they've still got to keep pushing for that equaliser, and gaps will appear for Chelsea to exploit as well.
Parker's made himself a bit of time and space. He's got it back from Walker. They'll find Adebayor, and Tottenham are looking like the better side just at the moment, but Chelsea have the lead, so perhaps that's to be expected. Tottenham coming forward more. Kyle Walker. Nothing doing.
It's a poor ball from Kyle Walker. He'll be disappointed with himself, but I think you're right, Ben. It's a good period for now for Tottenham. That goal's given them the lift after the disappointment of the second goal that was given against them. This is where Chelsea's experience is vital now, because if they can just see out the next 10 or 15 minutes, there'll be huge gaps appearing in that Tottenham defence as they keep pushing and pushing for that equaliser.
Cole gets it back from Mata, and does well in a bit of a tight pickle to squeeze his way out of it. Lampard and Mikel in the middle, those two certainly very much equipped to take the sting out of a game with some sensible positioning and control of pass. Cahill got a bit lucky there, that wasn't meant for Mata, but the Spaniard has it.
It's better from Chelsea, a bit more ball retention, frustrate Spurs. Oh, it was a good ball from Frank Lampard as well. Unfortunately, the outstretched Didier Drogba just couldn't quite get on the end of it. It was a good idea, but better possession, more relaxed, get a few passes in together and wait for the gaps to appear.
Big header from Cahill. Ramirez was looking to release Kalou there. Asuikoto did well on the challenge. This is Aaron Lennon. Good defensive work from Chelsea's I was going to say midfield, but defence, midfield and attack to win that ball back, and hunting in packs there.
They've got something to hang on to. Like a dog with a bone, Chelsea. They're going to hunt everything down, put every ounce of effort in to hold on to this 2-1 lead and possibly try and extend it.
Poor clearance again from Gallas. Drogba could be in again here!
I think the referee's given a corner. It's a fantastic challenge from Ledley King. Initial mistake from William Gallas. Ball found Kalou, who slid it into his centre forward. Didier Drogba onto that left side again. And you have to say it's a terrific challenge, goal-saving challenge from Ledley King.
Almost certainly so. Mata's corner. Drogba's chest. Cahill on the spin, and we know he can score from any kind of range. Wasn't the worst effort in the world.
No, Gary Cahill, decent composure about him as well. Good technique, just couldn't keep it down. It's not that far over the bar.
Certainly isn't. Scored in the quarter-final win at the Bridge over Leicester, did Gary Cahill. Well, no flag here on Adebayor, not yet anyway, and there's not going to be one. He needs some help in white shirts, and he's got some in Bale, who's closed down immediately. Adebayor again. Now Modric, well closed down by Lampard. The shot wasn't on. Walker. Kalou will want to let that run, but couldn't. Cole away to Mata cleverly, who sucked in Scott Parker, and Ramirez is off and running. And if he can square it early, Didier Drogba is there and waiting. Ramirez. Well, he does find Drogba, but not how he might have done had he managed to get the pass away earlier. But still, trouble for Tottenham. Drogba taking on King. Squeezes the cross over. Ramirez nearly in again. Kalou. It's almost in slow motion, this move. King and Drogba, when they went for it over on that side, looked at about 50%.
Well, I'll tell you who's not at 50%, and that's Ramirez. The lung-bursting runs he's making from midfield are absolutely phenomenal. And it's those gaps that are appearing that I keep talking about. The longer this game goes on, the more gaps are going to appear. And Ramirez is bursting through from midfield. Just couldn't find that final pass. Just slipped, I think, just at the vital time.
Clever ball from Lampard into Drogba. Van der Vaart finds Bale, and we're into the final 20, and Bale is off and running again. And he's past Basingwa, and he's got the ball in, and won a corner. Out of nothing really, just leg it and get a ball in, and from defence to attack in about 4.5 seconds.
It's phenomenally quick, Gareth Bale, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Once he gets into his stride, there's nothing you can do about it, I'm afraid. He's just that quick and direct.
From hoping a hamstring goes. Van der Vaart's corner. He'll do it again.
It's vital there, isn't he, Drogba? You talk about what he does in front of goal, but certainly defensively at corners and all set pieces, he does a vital job for Chelsea, and he did it then, but he's got to do it again now.
For years he's taken up that position in and around the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, I thought it was in. Ledley King. Can't believe it didn't go in, I've got to say. I can't either. I thought that was in all the way, but it got a touch. Whoever was marking him did brilliantly. Corner again, take 3.
I think he got the header in, but it was deflected by a blue shirt somewhere.
Van der Vaart has another go. And, good technique that from Basingwa. Got a man down here. Have we? Yes, we have.
Big man Didier Drogba is down. Got knocked somewhere along the line.
Relieves the pressure.
It's that experience coming into play, Ben.
And now the physio's on, he'll have to go off, of course. It's a pretty heavy landing for a big fella.
You don't do that too many times, do you? But this is the Ledley King chance.
Kalou get a bit of it.
I think Kalou and Mikel, between them, somehow they got enough to stop it. was question marks about Ledley King before this game and his fitness. It was 72.5 minutes or so gone. He's lasted the pace so far.
He's been excellent, and it's Gallas who's been struggling.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gallas has had a poor game. I tell you who I think's been quiet as well for Tottenham. I think Modric has been unbelievably quiet for them.
And credit for that will have to go to players in the middle of the park in blue, because it's not often Luka Modric doesn't influence a game. He still might, of course. There's still the best part of 20 minutes left. Jermaine Defoe's going to be joining us shortly. Tottenham's top scorer, even though he's more often than not a substitute.
It'll be interesting to see who Harry decides to take off for Defoe. But he's a dangerous player.
Bosingwa coming forward. Bale with the clearance. I wonder if it's either Lennon and then Van der Vaart will go out there, or maybe Van der Vaart himself will come off. I can't really see it being anyone else. We'll know soon enough, because he's stripped and ready. Or is it going to be Adebayor?
It can't be Adebayor, surely. You don't take your centre forward off when you need a goal. Van der Vaart.
It is Van der Vaart, who has almost scored here today, just as he did twice against Chelsea. He's had a couple incredible misses of their own type today. He's off. Defoe is on. 16 goals this season. It's more than any Tottenham player. Adebayor and Bale and Van der Vaart all close behind, but the first roll of the dice, if you like, from Harry Redknapp there. It's gone 2 up. Drogba's nearly in again here. Cudicini wasn't quite sure. Be another corner. A lot of corners in this game.
It has. Terrific turn, and just rolled Ledley King this time, Didier Drogba. I'll tell you what, he was first to it as well, Didier Drogba. He could have done a little bit better there. I'm not sure Carlo Cudicini was the bravest.
They might have both been expecting the other one to do a bit more there.
Maybe, yeah.
15 on the clock to go. Lampard's corner. Good header clear. I think it was Gallas who got it. Chelsea have the ball back. So, needless to say, Chelsea will be desperate not to have extra time, just because it would mean that Tottenham had equalised, as Cudicini has a bit of a hairy moment. But the last thing any of these players needs is another half an hour of football, with Barcelona coming to Stamford Bridge on Wednesday night.
Agreed. Here we go, that man Bale in possession now.
And he's got 3 up with him. And Cahill does superbly with his best Bobby Moore impersonation at the ground where the great man's statue stands proud outside. That was a challenge worthy of him. Eyes on the ball.
Yep. There was fears there, because Bale, as I say, in full flow, is a difficult customer. But Gary Cahill showed great skill in defending.
Lampard into Mata. Oh, it's a wonderful pass. It's Ramirez. It's 3.
Hey, if ever a man has deserved to score, it's him, Ramirez. He's been magnificent. He's been a constant thorn in Tottenham's side all afternoon, bursting through from midfield, and he showed great composure, fantastic composure to finish. And I think that could be game, set and match, Ben, dare I say it. Terrific run, terrific finish, terrific pass from, I think it was Juan Mata, wasn't it, Ben?
It usually is, and it was this time. And Ramirez started this cut run with a pair of goals against Pompey. And it looks like he might well have finished Tottenham off here. Juan Mata, that's a magical ball. And the first touch from Ramirez was, well, I was going to say Brazilian, and I guess it is.
Well, it was a terrific run initially, a terrific pass from Juan Mata, perfect weight, great first touch, and great composure to just lift it over Carlo Cudicini, and that should see Chelsea into the into the final, rather.
Yes, normally you'd say at this point Chelsea are going to Wembley, but already there. But looking odds on to be coming back 20 days from now. And you were, in a way, you were hoping Juan Mata's goal wouldn't be the one that decided it. Of course, it has a major bearing on things still, no doubt about it, but well, Spurs are really going to have to go for absolutely everything now. I do remember a rather good 3-3 between these two at the Bridge in the FA Cup not that long ago. They got one back very quickly last time when their deficit was 2. And they've got a corner here.
Well, they got 12 minutes of normal time to get themselves back in the game. But Chelsea learnt their lesson from going 2-0 up and keeping an open game.
Luka Modric takes the corner and misses everybody, but Lennon's going to keep it in, and everyone will stay in there. 5 white shirts in the box. Lennon's cross is comfortable for Drogba. Even has time to chest it before volleying it clear.
Chelsea fans in full voice now. You can see this side playing well, counter-attacking football, and the dreams of another Wembley final appearance are 11 minutes away of normal time.
Modric. No penalty, says Martin Atkinson. Gary Cahill didn't even give him a second look. Drogba has wriggled free from Gallas again. That's been a non-contest all night. Gallas has brought him down now and he'll be going in the book for it.
He's had a torrid time, William Gallas. It gets even more torrid with his yellow card being shown. But Didier Drogba's had him on toast all afternoon. Here's the penalty call. Not for me.
Never. Not off his shoulder. He actually made a very big effort to keep his arms in as well. Absolutely surprised, I'd have to say, to see how much Gallas has struggled with Drogba today. And Tottenham's season is in danger of really heading south at the moment. Not be much sympathy around Stamford Bridge for that. Here's Lampard's free kick.
Oh, what a goal!
Well, it's beyond doubt now. That is a stunner. Where's he pulled that from? The long rangers, that long range, are usually left to Didier Drogba, but Frank Lampard has out-drogged him there. It's a stunner. Chelsea are coming back here in 3 weeks. It's 4-1.
Magnificent strike from Frank Lampard. That has definitely finished the game off. And great to see Frank score. All the time in the world for Frank Lampard, and I'm delighted to see him score such a stunning goal at Wembley. It's the dip. It's a great strike, and it dips in front of Carlo Cudicini, right in the bottom corner. He can't do anything about it. Terrific strike from Frank Lampard. And Chelsea can set themselves up for a final appearance now.
That is utterly magnificent. Utterly magnificent. The 16th goal of the season as well, by the way, for Frank Lampard.
16 goals again from midfield. Phenomenal, Frank Lampard. Year in, year out, he does it. People talk about whether he's got long left at Chelsea Football Club. Well, I would suggest he has, because you don't find midfield players who scores you that amount of goals on a regular basis.
On any basis. Never mind regular. Well, Carlo Cudicini's made a couple of blinding stops today. He couldn't have done anything about that. And in the middle of all that, we've had a Chelsea substitution. Ramirez has gone off. More on that in a moment. It's 8 minutes of celebration coming up for Chelsea now, and a lot of Tottenham fans already deciding that that'll do. And mentioned earlier, it's a short trip home. It's a very, very small consolation. I think Jermaine Defoe's almost not had a touch since he came on. He got one there. He came on, it was 2-1. Well, it's a comfortable looking scoreline now, but Graham, you know as well as I do, there's only one thing people are going to be talking about after this game.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, obviously the mistake that Martin Atkinson has made was a terrible mistake to make. But I'm with you, Ben. I'm delighted that it hasn't made a significant factor in the game. I don't think. I mean, Tottenham couldn't quite possibly use it as an excuse. But overall, I think Chelsea have been the better side. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Tottenham have had periods where they've looked quite good, but overall, I think Chelsea have been more potent about the whole game. Didier Drogba struggling maybe with a little bit of cramp.
Well, Florent Malouda, by the way, was the player who came on for Ramirez. As we have another look at this strike, Chelsea preparing another change, by the way. At the dip, Cudicini just started going right to begin with, and by that point he had no hope. And Drogba is going to be coming off as well, by the way.
And it's just inside the far post from Carlo Cudicini's outstretched arm. Terrific finish from Frank Lampard. But obviously what this means now is that Roberto Di Matteo has the opportunity to, even if it may only be 7 or 8 minutes, what have you, it gives him an opportunity to just rest a couple of players with the big game against Barcelona in midweek coming up.
And we can start thinking about that now, and as we see Torres replacing Drogba, I just wonder, it's a tough one to call that. You could make a very compelling case for both, I think, in the Barcelona game, that Torres has been, in terms of all-round game, really back on song of late. Drogba just might be in the mood and might be able to bully the likes of PK and Puyol and Mascherano back there a little bit better. That's a tough one to call, isn't it?
I wouldn't want to be Robbie Di Matteo, would you? I mean, it's a real tough call. I'm sure it was a tough call for him this afternoon. I keep saying this afternoon, and it's these 6 o'clock kickoffs, so it's unheard of. It's the evening, isn't it? We're coming into night time now, and I'm still thinking it's the afternoon. That's what excitement does for you, Ben. 4 goals.
Delirious Chelsea fans, and thoroughly deflating for Tottenham to get walloped like this. And of course they may still have the last laugh in Premier League terms, or they may not. It might be a double whammy, who knows. They will have one thing to focus on from here on in. They've just got to play out a few more minutes here, but they've got one competition left, Spurs, and it's the biggest of the lot, really, in terms of the prize that's at the end of it, even though it doesn't come with a trophy or a medal, a 4th place finish. But Arsenal looking very good for 3rd.
We talked about it earlier, Ben, didn't we? The psychological impact of this result potentially on Tottenham or Chelsea's season, and that 4th spot. And let's be honest about it, Tottenham are a pale shadow of the side that started the season off so well. So exciting, so free-flowing. They're stuttering. Is it going to have an effect on that Premier League?
Hope so. There's Malouda. Left out of it by Walker. Well, the contest is dead now, and you can see the empty seats. There will be a lot of attention on him, and a lot of very angry Tottenham fans about that call. You never know what shape a game is going to take afterwards. Would Bale have gone straight down the other end and scored? You just can't answer it, but there is no way that ball has crossed the line.
No. There might be half an inch of football over the line, maybe.
Some,
but it's not enough.
Certainly, but not all of it.
It's not enough, and there's no way on the planet that he could have honestly seen that. No chance. But as I said before, Ben, it doesn't matter, because for me, Chelsea have been the better side, and they thoroughly deserved their victory.
Well, Frank Lampard should probably have a crack at goal here, I think.
Yeah, I think the Chelsea fans will be screaming shoot. And that picture there tells a story. A sorry story if you're a Tottenham fan. An early exit.
And as quirks would have it, Saturday, May the 5th, was supposed to be Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield in the Premier League. But Saturday, May the 5th is now going to be Liverpool versus Chelsea at Wembley. The Premier League game is most certainly going to now have to be on the Tuesday night. For those of you getting the diaries out, the Tuesday that follows it, the 8th. It's a rearranged game in the week before that as well. And home to Newcastle, which was supposed to be this weekend in the Premier League. It's going to end up, well, it could cross the 60 game mark, depending on whether there's a Champions League final.
It's busy, it's demanding, but it's what you want if you're a top side and you're chasing trophies, medals, left, right and centre. These players have got experience of doing it before. Let's hope they can do it again. I think they've risen to the occasion at Wembley. I think they've been outstanding. I think there's been top performances all round the pitch. I think Ramirez, who's having a well-earned rest, was magnificent. I think he's been man of the match. I think the captain's led from the front. Didier Drogba played well. Kalou worked very, very hard.
Could seal it with a 5th here. Torres is in the middle. Oh, goodness me.
Deary me.
Flora Malouda can smile now because at 89 minutes and 4-1 it doesn't matter, but still should have done better.
Not quite sure what's going through his mind here. Look, there it is. Just slide it across the floor to Torres.
I guess he saw Ledley King in the way and thought of a bit of a dink, in which case he got far too much on it. Just doing the maths, it will be a 60 game season, by the way. You know it's good when you play that many, because the FA Cup final will now make it 60. Of course, all Chelsea fans hoping and praying it will be 61, because that one would be against either Real Madrid or Barcelona, but let's not get ahead of ourselves too far. Real Madrid or Bayern Munich rather. Don't want to prejudge the Barcelona tie, although given what's happened this season, it's pretty much impossible to predict anything.
It is, you're quite right. There's been plenty of egg wiped off my face this season, let me tell you, with predictions, but certainly it's a morale-boosting victory, this one. 4-1 against your London rivals.
And Adebayor into the box here. Fouls Gary Cahill as well.
I don't think that was the best of challenges from Adebayor. Stud showing.
And a few added minutes as well as Adebayor goes into the book for what it's worth. I just wonder, you know, I'm not sure where he is in the world and what he's doing right now. Andre Villas-Boas having a look at this Chelsea situation, in charge for the first 2/3 of a campaign that people said was heading south. I mean, you know, Chelsea have got Barcelona in a Champions League semi and going to be coming to Wembley for a second time. I wonder what he must think when he sees it.
Well, I'm sure he's devastated by the whole thing. He came here with the best intentions, obviously, but for one reason or another, he didn't get the job right. And in the modern day game, if you don't do your job correctly, especially at Chelsea Football Club, you disappear. And I think an awful lot of credit has got to be given to Robbie Di Matteo and his backroom staff, because they've settled the ship. It's a far happier place to be. All the players have played their part, they're playing for him, and who's to say he won't step up and get the job? Tempers flaring now.
Parker and Mikel needing to be separated. We don't need this. We don't need this. Martin Atkinson's got the cards out again, and John Terry's gone over to his good mate. He's doing his best to calm him down, but Parker's absolutely incensed by something here. Obviously, a lot of it will be the frustration of the situation. I have to say, I didn't see much in the way of a niggle in there, but Graham?
I think John Terry's done the right thing. He's a terrific player, Scott Parker, and a great competitor, but he totally lost his head for a few moments there. He's got to look at the bigger picture. He doesn't want to get himself sent off and miss games of football. Not in the situation Tottenham are in with that Premier League.
In the book he goes, and I dare say that was a little reminder from Scott Parker about that second goal. Is Mikel going to be? Yes, Mikel's going to get a talking to as well, accompanied by his captain.
I'm not quite sure exactly what set Scott Parker off there. Obviously, Mikel's done something or other to upset him. Here it is, kicked out at him, back of the knee.
Simeone.
Yeah. Scott Parker not happy about that at all.
And Scott Parker's being substituted, which is probably a sensible thing from Harry Redknapp's point of view. There's no point in having him banned for crucial Premier League games. It was a little kick out that from Mikel. I don't know if Martin Atkinson saw it or not. If he had, he might actually have red carded him. Small fry as it was. Sandro on for Parker.
Yeah. Disappointing for Scott Parker. I played with him at Charlton. He's a great lad, Scotty. But it's not been him or his side stay today. Chelsea, convincing winners for me. There we go, another one.
Should be 5. Great chance, it is 5. And it's Flora Malouda. Another man who loves the Wembley occasion. He scored here again.
Well, no Chelsea fan in their wildest dreams could have thought of a scoreline like this. You enjoy afternoons like this. Flora Malouda on the score sheet, off the bench and onto the score sheet. It's just pure celebration for Chelsea now. Doesn't get any better than this.
And it's utter humiliation for Tottenham. Most of their fans aren't here. But Malouda and then Mata. Lovely ball from Mata. And Flora Malouda, you know, 3 out of 3. What a record that is. Semi-final here against Villa, scored. Semi-final here against Arsenal, scored. And now against Spurs as well, as the clock ticks to 94. It is 5-1, and that is astonishing. I don't believe anyone could have had that as a prediction at the start of the day.
Absolutely not. There's a happy man, Robbie Di Matteo, guided his side to an FA Cup final, and they've certainly turned on the style now. It's going to be some sore heads down the King's Road tomorrow morning.
And then it's Barcelona. Twice, with Arsenal in the meat of the sandwich.
Oh, it's quite incredible the run of fixtures Chelsea have. But this is going to do their confidence the world of good. You know, they've had a chance to rest a couple of players as well, albeit for, 10 or 15 minutes. But it's important because you need every piece of legs you can when you're taking on the likes of Barcelona.
And Harry Redknapp deep in thought there. Obviously this one's gone, but if you're him, you're thinking of a way of what you can say to your players straight after this to get them thinking about what's coming ahead, which is Premier League, and only Premier League for Spurs. But for Chelsea, the fight is still on 3 fronts. It's derby delight for the Blues, and in the end, in a very controversial game, Graham, they've cruised to this, but they've been the better side, regardless of Martin Atkinson's intervention.
Yeah, regardless of the poor decision from Martin Atkinson, Chelsea clearly, for me, the better side. Obviously, when it went to 2-1, you felt Tottenham were going to push on, but Chelsea picked them off, scored the goals, and quite rightfully take their place in the FA Cup final against Liverpool.
Drogba in the first half, 5 more goals in the second. The first of them, the big one, the controversial one, and the one that Martin Atkinson said went over the line from Juan Mata, when clearly it didn't. Gareth Bale immediately got one back, but that was as good as it got for Tottenham. Ramirez made it 3-1. Frank Lampard with an absolute humdinger made it 4, and Flora Malouda right at the end with the 5th to really put the gloss on a truly famous Wembley win. And the blue flag is flying high at FAHQ, and it will be again in 20 days' time against Liverpool. Chelsea are in the cup final. The stunning scoreline from Wembley is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Chelsea 5.